Okay, so now we're going to do the forearm. So we're going to start with the wrist flexors, okay, and then we'll turn over, then we can do the wrist extensors. So once again, this is an area where we can probably engage a little bit of range of movement while we're doing this. Once you start getting used to using the cups, you can really start mobilizing the areas that you're actually cupping. Makes a massive difference, but you really need to get the basics down pat first. Okay, so we just apply the cup on there like so. Bring the hand just a little bit into wrist extension, and we're just going to work across and then along the medial part of the forearm first, all the way up there, okay, and then we're going to come all the way down like so. So this is really great for these carpal tunnel syndromes, even a little bit of cubital tunnel syndrome, radial nerve entrapments, ulnar nerve entrapments. Really great for those peripheral nerve entrapments, okay? Obviously, as well as our overuse injuries of the forearm as well. So we've got obviously the medial epicondylitis or elbow tendinosis. So working all the way down, okay, as you can see. Now you can work longitudinally with this part of the region, because the tissue there is a little bit different to obviously the tissue here in the skin. It's obviously a lot tighter as well, but there's certainly a little bit more give there for us to be able to work longitudinally. You can work across, there's no problem with that if you want to do that. In fact, I probably urge you to do probably a little bit of both for these areas. So you can work across, okay, like so, but I tend to find you longitudinally work so much more effective when you're working this part. Okay, done. So that's the forearm flexors. If we turn the arm over, now we can actually look at cupping the forearm extensors. Okay, so we're obviously looking at all of those groups of muscles there. Remember that most of the trigger points are in the upper half, okay, of the wrist extensors. So once again, good liberal coating of the Premax lotion. Okay, cup on. Once again, we can go into a bit of wrist flexion, not extension this time, and then we're going to work along those wrist extensors like so. Okay, and then back down. Come a little bit more medial. And back up along that extensor carpa radialis longus, brachoradialis. Okay, if we come out right out to the lateral, which will be right out this area here, then we've got the extensor carpa radialis, extensor carpa ulnaris, and that's where you find a lot of really significant tenderness when you've got those lateral elbow conditions. Alright, so just working all the way along. Okay. Now you will find sometimes you'll come off a little bit if they're really, really tight. So you've got to try and get the tension just right and work across. Okay, I'm just focusing right on that brachoradialis. Okay, so we've got brachoradialis, we've got our extensor dig, extensor carpi ulnaris as well, and extensor carpa radialis brevis deep in there as well. Okay, and remember, wrist is going to be in just a little bit of flexion.